think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are...
Have you ever wondered where we and all that surrounds us came to be? Many people ponder this question. In World Religions, Dr. Huck introduces the answers to life's ultimate questions. Many cultures and religions have developed their own interpretation of the universe's origin. In this video, we will share and discuss the creation stories of Hinduism and Catholicism, as well as the scientific view.
Before time began, there was no heaven, no earth, no space, just nothing.
The waves of the vast dark ocean rised. A giant cobra floated in the water. Lying asleep in the snake's coils was Lord Vishnu. The snake kept him safe as he slept peacefully. Slowly, a humming sound started. It grew louder and louder. It grew and spread, filling the emptiness with energy. Lord Vishnu woke up, and a magnificent lotus flower grew from his navel. Right in the middle of the flower sat Brahma. Lord Vishnu told Brahma to create a world. As Brahma was still sitting in the lotus flower, he calmed the waves in the water. Then Brahma began to split the lotus flower in 3 different parts: the heavens, the earth, and the skies. To start, the earth was bare, so Brahma created everything, from grass to flowers to trees. He even let living things evolve so that the earth became filled with animals and insects. Soon the earth and the skies were filled with Brahma's creations.
Hindus actually believe that the world or all living things have devolved from a state of what they refer to as pure consciousness. And this state of pure consciousness has always existed. There's no beginning to it. It is felt that everything that exists on this earth has a piece of this pure consciousness, which itself is eternal and which propagates itself as the soul. So in that sense, there's no really beginning to time. Brahma, who is one of the triumvirate, is responsible for sustaining creation. Some people think that he may have begun the process. Most, including myself, believe that he sustains it. And the other 2 parts of members of the triumvirate, Vishnu is responsible for nurturing it, and Shiva for destroying it. So it encompasses the process of birth, sustenance, and destruction, which keeps going on and on and on.
That's a weird question.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I don't think anybody can answer that question. In some sense, all religions, use myths and legends and stories to make people understand their essence. So I don't know if this was made up to make people believe, but as far as I know, we believe this to be true. We don't think it's a made-up story. We believe it's part of the essence of Hinduism because it captures the the infinite nature of the soul, and the essence of life, the core of life, which is this state of pure consciousness, which ultimately all Hindus are asked to aspire to. And it's a very difficult process that can take several lifetimes to do, but it's what lies at the core of Hinduism, this state of infinite being or pure consciousness.
In the beginning, God made heaven and earth.
At first it was empty and dark, so God brought the light and called it day. He gathered up all the darkness and called it night. God watches over everything. On day 2, God divided the air from the water. He put some water above the air and some below it. He then named the air sky. On day 3, God made oceans, lakes, waterfalls, rivers, and the dry ground that we now walk on. He made so many different types of plants, trees, flowers, and bushes. On day 4, God put the sun in the sky to warm up the earth by day. God then put the moon and the stars at night to shine. Then, God created spring, summer, fall, and winter. On day 5, God made all the animals in the sea. He made birds to fly high in the sky. Making them all shapes and sizes and colors. On day 6, God made the animals on the land. But something was still missing. There were no people. So God made some. He made each one in his likeness and image.
Story. No, that it does not disagree with evolution, that it's not literal. It is like an allegory to explain origins. And what I like about it is that I can agree with that, you know? Mm-hmm. It allows for intelligent design because and allows for evolution because it doesn't say who created the soul. And Catholicism believes that God created humans in its image and likeness of God, so there is a soul as well as the body. And who's to say that we didn't evolve from that? Adam and Eve, you know, as a theology teacher, it's interesting because I get a lot of people that say, so if Adam and Eve didn't sin, would we still be in the Garden of Eden? Right. If it's an allegory, then it doesn't matter. There's going to be somebody who chose their will over God's will. So I like to say that that's what I think the church is saying out of Adam and Eve, as well as that the order of creation. When we look at the creation stories, God takes chaos and creates not just the world, but he creates it in a specific order so that there's harmony. You know, like you can't have any kind of vegetation, you can't have any nature or animals without sun and moon. So first the sun and moon was made, and then the animals and that nature came.
Right.
Obviously, it's
Maybe a
not
little bit of both. You know, we always need something to help our unbelief, you know, because it's just so far-fetched.
such a complex.
Exactly. So stories help. Oh yeah. Well, when I used to teach scripture, one of my favorite assignments was a research project to find other religions, other origin stories. So there's like I think there's China. We did a Chinese, the Egyptian origin stories. I can't remember if it was Hindu, but all very similar kind of elements where there was chaos, there was nothing, and then something was created out of it. And also that idea of relationships between humans and nature, relationships between gods and humanity, and that struggle, you know. And I think that's what it is, that the creation stories in all of our religions help explain,
Help unite us.
and they unite us when we start to see how similar we are. But it helps to explain why we are in the situation that we are. And their existential questions.
Scientists believe that the Big Bang was the very beginning of the creation of the universe. It occurred about 13.73 billion years ago. According to the scientists, there was nothing when the Big Bang occurred. There was just a very tiny hot point consisting of matter which had the potential to become something. This point burst to slowly create the universe. This bang created space and energy. Atoms began to form soon after the burst. A few billion years later, planets were formed. And eventually life started to form on Earth.
I would probably say the Big Bang Theory is the most accepted. It doesn't actually really, because I know, especially in the past couple of years, the Big Bang Theory, it was thought for a long time that like the universe was infinite, but now there's evidence that the Big Bang actually was the beginning of time and the beginning of space and the beginning of matter. So before the Big Bang happened, really what was there kind of thing. So I think there's kind of a convergence between scientists and theologians are coming to a little bit of an agreement maybe sometime soon, if not already. So when I was here, a student at St. Thomas, I don't remember if it was Mrs. Diefenbacher or Mrs. Myrick, but they talked a lot about not taking certain Bible verses literally, but using it more symbolically. And the symbolism in the creation story, maybe it didn't go exactly in the 7 days, and on the seventh day God rested and created everything in that order. But if you look at, and I don't know super a lot about the Big Bang Theory, I'm not a physicist, but I think it kind of goes along with just the symbolism in the creation story.
Although different religions have their own special beliefs and science has their own theories, we all live in the same universe on the same earth. We may never truly know how the universe was created, but we can all appreciate and try to understand others' beliefs and live together in harmony in our universe.
But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon?